What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. It's a channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And check this out, man. We got a lot to talk about, man, because every time I turn around, it just irked me a little bit when I see, the conscious community or someone that's conscious and they're going through their little journey or whatever, and they sit up there and they'll put up words like semen retention, things like veganism, why you should be a vegan, why you should stop eating meat, why you should stare sun gaze, and all these type of things where a lot of these people don't understand it. And it's just like the religious people where they tell people, hey, you should pray every day, hey, you should do this, you should do this. And like a lot of these people don't understand, they telling people to do this, but when they doing it themselves, it's not even helping them, or it's putting them in a worse predicament. And by them study ignoring or picking up on what's going on, they'll rather ignore it and just claim it to something else. So instead of them taking responsibility or accountability to see that, maybe I'm in the midst of this and not someone else or some type of exterior energy always got the source of using me, right? So when it comes out of the semen retention people, I'm gonna get on them too, because it ain't no point of you being body strong and your mind's weak. You get what I'm saying? You can't control your minds. There's no point. You get what I'm saying? Especially when you saying, hey, retention is because it teaches me about having more strength and it keep me focused on my workout and focus on my life of what I want to do. No, you just weak-minded where you can't handle one thing or more than another thing. Like, you get what I'm saying? Where you have to be one-track minded or focus on one thing, and you don't understand sometimes having a love in your life will actually spark more creativity and actually give you more things to do besides just work your life away. Because at the end of the day, say you sit there and you work out your whole life and then you end up in a bad accident where they got to cut so much muscle, and then at the end of the day, now you can't work out no more, you just back started over. So you just did it all for no reason, where it could all just been script. So when we say the materialistic stuff, the conscious community don't realize this is what they're clinging towards, because when it comes to awareness, that's just exactly what it is, being aware to something. So whatever somebody put out there, now you want to pay attention, and everything don't need your spiritual attention. You can't be spending spiritual bucks every time it turns around. You want to buy everything in the spiritual realm. Sometimes you got to have your bucks ready. So sometimes you got to be spiritually strong to be able to understand some of these tricks and these tactics that they're trying to show you and get you hemmed to. So it don't matter how you talk, no matter where you from, when it get down to this, you'll understand the minds that you have been through already. So you're not out here like no new spirit or some jolly golly person that don't know what's going on and thinking everything out here to scare you, when in reality you shouldn't be scared of nothing, because this is our biggest holdback. And what we mean by that is even the minefield, where people is scared of insecurities, where people are scared of rejection. So when it comes down to the semen retention group, you know what I'm saying, this is a lot of times where people experience a lot of rejection in life or a lot of letdowns, and now they feel like, hey, I'm gonna just make myself stronger everywhere else, bump my internal organs and stuff that I can't fix on. So it's like they be hurt, but they try to find a way to cover it. Y'all ever heard that? Like, a lot of times people used to say this even growing up and stuff. It's just a different fashion of how they doing it now. Instead of them popping steroids and hiding behind the fact that them just trying to get big, now it's something different. That's just like with the women and stuff. Even when it comes down to these things, how they blend it all together, and people don't realize how the veganism and how all this got something to do with each other, right? Where you'll have one of them now is taking the strength from you, where they'll have the same person that's on semen retention talking about veganism, and that might be where your strength going at. You might be a person that needs more protein than the average person. You get what I'm saying? Or more protein than the person that you're comparing yourself to. So everybody have to find out their own walk to life. But a lot of times these people cling on to things because they get hurt, and it's already a group of masses that already accepted this. So this is the reason why we keep coming up with all these new communities, even with like the veganism junk, with the Muslims being taken over and stuff like that. And this, you had the older Muslims and stuff like that. Yes, we all know that. But when it comes down to new generations that don't even know these people, don't even know where these people come from, just because they went to jail and had to be around this group every day, now they want to join Muslimhood and stuff like that, man. It's fucked up. But this is what people doing, and now they're a part of something that they don't not necessarily notice, that they're praying to the sun, but the way that they're understanding the sun is only in one perspective. They're not understanding the sun by understanding the days of the week. They're not understanding the lunar phases. They're not understanding none of that. So it's not being transparent enough to actually be spiritual, to see what's on the other side, because it's holding a biasness or some type of fear tactic where, hey, it's not to go over there. That's like with the conscious community to keep bringing up these things with like saying, hey, if vegans, it helps you be woke, it helps cleanse the third eye and all this and that there, and you can name vegans right now that don't know nothing about spirituality, period, and don't know nothing you're talking about. So at the end of the day, these arguments be pointing, they be blank, and it should be more like someone's able to feel themselves, because they felt one day one way, and they don't understand it be phases and transits that going above you that made you probably even feel away from the beginning, and you don't understand that because you probably jumped into this energy and thought that this was a word. So sometimes it'll trick you where you feel like, yeah, I did what I supposed to did, and then later on we see, yo, actually it wasn't. You put yourself 10 steps back. So a lot of times people don't understand that, so they don't see the what they say, like the other side of where it ain't green at. You know what I'm saying? Other side of the, however you say it, where it ain't so green at. So a lot of times people do that inadvertently to themselves. So like, it's like they'll see something, and by them not accepting it, or by them not understanding it, they'll go ahead and reject it. They're just like the Christian mind. But sometimes the conscious community don't realize this is what all y'all coming off of, because it's all Satanism. It's all talking about materialistic stuff, being the spiritual stuff, and like the spirit don't supposed to have nothing to do with the mind or the material of this world, just being able to use and access these things. So a lot of times people get lost into these things like, yo, this has nothing to do with whether a person is spiritual or not. You reducing semen don't have nothing to do with that. You just need to learn how to control your minds, whether it's the one below or whether it's the one on your head and shoulders. And then even when it comes to veganism, just because you want no protein, or you don't want these things because it gets stuck in your teeth, or your teeth too weak to eat them, that doesn't make nobody else on, or however you want to see it. Because sometimes people will come up here and they'll find a little bias, or why this vegan shit fit them, or what they like about it. Some people might just like that stuff more. And a lot of times people don't understand your taste buds and junk could come from where you come from and the things you had already experienced previously. So when it come out of that, we might not like the same things anyway. So this back to that agreement thing where everyone have to agree with each other, but at the same time, people don't realize that's the problem. Nobody can have their own individuality. So even the conscious community, where they all look up to each other. If you listen to the conscious community, all them boys sound the same. They all talking about semen retention. They all talking about these gods with animal heads, and they don't understand the etymology behind it, or how they looking at it. They anamorphing everything. They turning everything to actual animal, or they turning everything to actual physical, and not understand what the spirit is trying to point at to show you a representation of what's going on. Like, they don't understand that, so they make the spirit that thing instead of that's what the spirit is trying to show us, right? So they get lost into things, from running from things and running to a corner. Like, so when it cut out of us trying to experience these things, heck yeah, you're gonna have different people where they're coming up with like, yeah, this is what it is, like, don't accept this, go against that, because now we got minds that's so corrupted that we divide and conquer ourselves, where we have arguments inside ourselves and gender wars amongst ourselves, color wars and stuff like this, where they don't have to actually put a finger in, because of a person trying to be so consciously aware to stuff and not having wisdom of, yo, let me know what I'm doing if I'm gonna be watching something, right? Just like I was saying earlier, like, they just like what you, as a grown person, if you watch the cartoon or something, you'll know what's going on. Your kid might not know exactly what's going on, but they're gonna know, hey, it's something off about this cartoon. Just say if it was Family Guy, right? You will know what's going on. Some of them things they might miss and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, by you being older, you know, like, hold on, I don't need to go to job doing this. Where your kid might go to the job or go somewhere else doing it because they're more inspired, or more, how you say, goddamn, just say convinced for right now, more convinced about what's going on inside the picture. So a lot of times these people, it's a convincing thing where a lot of other people might be going through the same similar situation, so they already just be ready to join in. And the reason why is because the way they bend your mind is to set a certain way where you're scared to think outside of this box. And this is what we be meaning by the magical box. And it's like a damn genie lamp when you think about it, because it be sucking up everybody's souls in it, and their spirits up in it. So at the end of the day, the soul's up in it. So when people come out, they don't be having the mind of them on. The way their body react, they don't even act like it be their body. Like, they just act like they're walking towards a program or just going along protocol. So it don't be no actual fake people, but it be like people just going along with the game, or going along with the agenda. You know what I'm saying? And not actually fighting against or trying to figure out, hey, let me try to make a new route and try to draw a new path. So nothing is getting done. You get what I'm saying? We have to depend on another source or someone else to bring it. Just like the conscious community, where they gain nothing. If you actually watch those people, they have nothing new to talk about unless it pop up on the internet or some new conscious person come out and they're talking about something that's different, but it still agree with the conscious community to making it like, oh, there's evil out there, and just by these signs and signals, you automatically is just cast ashore. But yes, a lot of the things they talk about, like energy transfer and stuff like that, yeah, but the levels and the scales and the thing they be trying to put it to, it don't be like that at all. You get what I'm saying? So it's automatic, like over exaggerated. That's like the best way to put it. And then when you're looking at some of the things, it'd be an understatement. So it'd be like haters that don't understand how nothing working. So at the end of the day, don't do things like that, because you're going to scare yourself away from actually trying to figure out what's going on. And I got friends like that where they own YouTube, and I might not do a video with them because they're conscious. You get what I'm saying? Where they'll be trying to convince me that this spiritual sign, like Ra, for example, is not the sun moving in a certain transit, but yet it's a person moving with a certain group. You get what I'm saying? Or on a certain kingdom or a certain location. And what they don't understand is how a planet can own a house. You get what I'm saying? They don't understand native rulers and things like that. So when they'll get lost into that type of stuff, they don't understand a deacon. They'll think it's an actual person that's supposed to come out there with a book, and they don't understand none of this stuff. So for me to have a video with a conscious person is be like, it'll be down there like a battle. Y'all to see them people up there getting embarrassed all day because the things they saying go against whatever been going on. Like they be trying to do new stuff that don't work. Like that's about the best way to put it. They be like, you know what? Let's semen retention. Then niggas have wet dreams. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, everything they do is trying to avoid something because it's trying to strengthen one end instead of just dealing with it and getting experience with how to deal with something. So, and yet it's like running from something once again. So once we go back to these fear mongers and stuff, this is the reason why these people can't accept it, because they have so much fear on them that every time they try to expand, they can't expand. It's like, hey, don't come out here. And they're like, ah. And they come back in to their spirit and be like, you know what, I went outside my box. I went outside my area. And you don't have to do it from an ego perspective. And that's a lot of people where they get to it and they do it like from a reckless perspective. But if you come in like on a humble perspective and just say, hey, let me see what's unseen. Let me see what's not seen in my mind and what's not seen by my eyes. Let me just know what's going on outside of this world. Let me see how it look downwards. You get what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of times when people trying to get those reference, it always sounds like a person looking down on earth, but it's really just talking about how you could be transparent and look over everything to having the understanding of what's going on and having what even a stand is. So when we having understanding all this type of stuff, understanding, you know how these country communities say the word understanding, but the thing is, that's the point. You don't need to be in none of these things. You need to have the outer standing. So the outer standing would be to be spiritual, or it would be to be transparent. So a lot of times they be saying stuff, they don't even know what they be saying. Like I'm telling y'all, they be putting themselves in own curses because they run away from one thing without actually trying to observe what's going on, without analyzing or trying to experience. So this ain't saying, hey, you need to go jump out of jet or nothing like that. No, we talking about from a mental thing. You might not have to jump out of jet, but if you see a person jump out of jet, you might know, hey, that's something I don't want to do. It don't matter if I was to make it or nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? You start developing these minds and developing these thoughts. And that's the reason why they bring these things to you like a presentation. So they do it and revert it. So anything you paying attention to, now they try to give it attention, right? Where they have these conscious communities where they'll come out and they'll say the most bizarre junk. And they'd be like, oh, men are better than women, or men are more important than women. And it come down to a gender war and all these type of things. And they love these people because they know it's easily the influence to these minds that they had already developed of being through traumas and being so hurt so many times that now this is what we all got to live with. And a lot of people don't understand why they're so fragile. They've been through so many lifetimes where these people have broken your minds down. Anytime you started thinking you was creative and somebody shoot you down and stuff like that through lifetimes. And now it's starting to get to a point now when you'll rather be down. And that's like how we get trolls and stuff nowadays, where the people done did the most, and what they done did is hard for them to come back. They got to take 25 lifetimes to get right. It's just like the conscious community with all the prejudging and the self things, like they know what's going on. How you know what's going on at the Illuminati ball, exactly what's going on and when it happened, and you're not even there? Like, these people could fool y'all with anything. They could make anything look like something. They could put devil horns behind somebody and you'll be like, oh, look, they with the devil. Like, it just don't make no sense. Like, of how y'all let a community or people way more powerful than what they actually is. Like, y'all will make somebody more scared than what they should be, and it ain't even like that. It's like, man, that nigga a human too. They just a weird human. Now, they might be right about them eating body parts and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, these people, they get punched in the face, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Where they running from moms and stuff too. Where they see that, you know, everybody is going through this, where they try to predict themselves or put themselves in a situation where they don't have to go through it as much as everybody else, so they can feel better or feel stronger about themselves. So that lets you know they weak spiritually, though. But anyway, man, that's just how it goes when they come out here. And a lot of people don't understand. Like, these people don't like to be left behind, man. They'll start computing and picking things up just like the computers, just like when they learn from you. When they see a new genius is born, if y'all ever notice, they have them on every talk show. Even if it's rapping, a certain way they talk, a certain way they live, anything like that. They say it's something different and something that nobody else is doing. But it could also be a way that now people's minds might start working. Oh, man, they be on a program with that because they see how this person could bring their individuality and make it for them to use as their, to saying, hey, this is going to be the programming of duality, of how we're going to make everybody else or the pairs or the couples or the people play it out, whether it's a male or a female. You get what I'm saying? And that's how they play it out, man. But anyway, I just wanted to break that down because a lot of times if you is in the conscious community, you got to realize that, like, damn, everything is evil. When you're looking at the devil head, it's evil. When you're looking at the top of the Christmas tree, it's evil. When you're looking at all these things, it's evil. But if you don't have an understanding of what it is, how do you even know it's evil? You're just going by something that's being told to you, just like how everything else being told to you. So the same things you want to avoid and say they've been lying to you, everything they told you, the same stuff you going out to find is not something where you came up with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you'll have to question, like, okay, if it is so evil, then why is this still in existence? Why is this evil still around if the world was meant like this? So you'll have to start thinking and seeing the reason why they use these signs and symbols to understand what's going on and to see, hey, oh, now I see what's going on. So now I can make what they're trying to make, or I could do or control and come up with the things just like they do, how they got a law of lands and stuff like that. Now I understand why they even did it, but they just kind of like, in a weird way, they beat you to the punch and made it to something else. But they don't like when we get the upper hand and we start thinking outside the box and start speeding up on the process. Because now they got to think outside the box in order to create a perimeter around it. Just to be like, hey, just in case people think like this, we got that over there. Just like they with the flat earthers, with the circle earthers, with all these type of people, and nobody can see Earth. It's just the funniest, dumbest argument ever. But at the end of the day, you just got to know what Earth is. You know what I'm saying? You watch Dragon Ball Z, you watch all these games and stuff, they show you like this planet or whatever this is look like a dot. And then when you go into it, it's a big ass holding type of environment with millions and millions of miles and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, a lot of times we don't understand where Star Trek, Disney, and all these things get people. So the same conscious community, you'll see them use a lot of Disney references where they might not even understand it themselves. You get what I'm saying? Where Disney has a problem, but the things they're doing do not have a problem, although it's criticizing people, down-talking people, and picking on people that do not think like them. So it's like a weird group where they section themselves out and start looking down on the earth, but in a messed up way, in an egotistical way. So that's back to what I was saying earlier. Doing it from a spiritual perspective is different because they do it like, hey, I'm better than the world and this and that there, but you don't realize, like, yeah, you might just be in a lifetime right now where these people not understanding it like you. So don't try to act like you was the first person ever born or the first to do something when really everything already been done. But the way that you could do it can bring the trueness to it of the individualness and stuff like that. But by you having this, everybody pay attention to this, and really it's not nothing you should have paid attention to. It's something that's kind of forceful. That's why when you watch a conscious channel, it seems like they be forcing things. It seems like they be reaching for certain things. Like they'll hit and then miss like a motherfucker. Come back, hit, miss like a motherfucker. The reason why is because we all can see what's going on, but that doesn't make that you're beating the magic because you see what's going on. What if it's a magic trick where it's supposed to show you this is what's going on in order for the magic to work? And that is what goes on. So they don't understand the present stage, movies, a producer, you know, they don't understand setting the stage, making a movie when it comes down to things about spirituality and how minds being set and how these things being working, or how time work against people. Okay, bum, this the time to shoot this movie. Bum, that's the time to shoot that movie. Now the best time to release this movie will be this, because everybody will be thinking this way already. So if we release one talking about the New Year's and how things gonna be in the future during February, oh yeah, man, we liable to get them, especially if we could get the moon lined up there. So we'll try to place the dates there to try to sell more and all this type of stuff there. They have the ways to push things using the time. So when you looking at it,